Balance is one of the biggest lies we've ever been sold. We're told that if we just figure out the right routine, the perfect schedule, or the right productivity hack, we can have it all: the thriving career, the family, the health, the peace of mind. But let's be real, that's a freaking fantasy. I spent years chasing balance, and instead of feeling successful or fulfilled, I felt so burnt out, resentful, and constantly guilty because no one tells you that balance doesn't exist. Every yes you give automatically comes with a no. Every time you pour into one area of your life, another area gets less. That's not you failing, that's just life. And I learned this the hard way. There was a stretch where I said yes to everything. I had work commitments stacked on top of each other, plus family obligations, social plans, side projects, travel, my life. My calendar was so full, it looked like a war zone. And on the outside, I probably looked so impressive, like I was managing it all, checking all the boxes. But on the inside, I was crumbling. I was tired, short-tempered, disconnected, and physically not at my best health. And nothing was getting the best of me. Not my work, not my relationships, and definitely not my children, and certainly not myself. And I remember thinking, is this what balance is supposed to feel like? Because if it is, I don't want it. That was a breaking point. That was when I stopped trying to juggle everything equally and started asking myself better questions. This is where I first got the idea for the empowerment platform. When I had moments like this, when moments like this would present themselves, I would inevitably come back to the fact that I have a choice in this matter. Facts are what they are. I was born into the family I was born into. I have the life that I have, but what choices am I making? And this is where the conversation about the fallacy of balance started revealing itself to me. So I started asking myself a few simple questions. The first one, what actually matters most to me right now? Not forever, not for some perfect life, but just right now in this season of my life. Because once you get honest about your season, you realize balance isn't the goal after all. It's just alignment in that particular moment in your life. The second question was, if I say yes to this, what am I saying no to? Because remember, every yes is a no. Yes to the extra work project? No, because every yes is a no. When I say yes to the extra work project, that's no to a night of full rest. When I say yes to the social plan I don't even want to go to, that's no to quiet time I've been craving for myself. And once you start seeing it that way, you see these patterns and you realize you've always been giving the most valuable parts of yourself away to things that don't even really matter to you. That's when I started practicing something that's changed everything for me: choice. The intentional no's and the intentional yeses. No without an excuse. No without guilt. No without over-explaining. And of course, at first it was uncomfortable because we're conditioned to make ourselves available to everyone. But the more I did it and the more I said no, as awkward as that was, the lighter I began to feel. And one thing I want to make very clear to you, and I want you to understand, is that saying no does not make you selfish. It makes you clear. And believe me, you will hear people call you selfish when you start protecting your boundaries. So here's a question. Are you tired because life is full? Or are you tired because you're chasing balance? There is a massive difference. A full life can be meaningful and fulfilling. Chasing balance is when we're on the hamster wheel that will never ever stop spinning and you just never feel like you're achieving or accomplishing anything. What saved me was shifting that perspective from guilt to choice. Instead of beating myself up for not doing it all, I reminded myself, I'm not failing. I'm choosing. I'm choosing what matters to me in this season. I'm choosing who gets the best of me. I'm choosing alignment over appearances and checking those boxes. So if you want a practical shift that you can start today in this moment and use it for the rest of your life, stop using the word balance altogether. Replace it with alignment. Instead of saying, I need better balance in my life, ask, does how I'm spending my time right now align with what I say actually matters to me in this season? That's the question. That's the standard, and that's where you start. I do not live a balanced life anymore. My life is uneven. Some areas get more or less attention, but the parts that matter most get my best. And that's why I can actually breathe. That's why I'm not constantly drowning in guilt or exhaustion anymore. So stop chasing balance. Don't believe in that concept anymore. It is not real. Start chasing alignment. Start choosing your yes and your no on purpose, because you're always giving something up. The question is, are you giving up the right thing? The ability to ask yourself that and then act on it, that's freedom, and that's empowerment.